Have you ever been in an accident while in an Uber, Lyft, or other ride-sharing service? Here to make sure you know your rights as an Uber driver and as a passenger is lawyer Ralph Guito, also known as Ralph the Lawyer. Good to have you here.
Thank you very much.
And welcome to being part of the Daytime family.
Thank you for having me.
Let's talk a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, I'm a fourth-generation Tampa native. Attended the University of South Florida, received a degree in mechanical engineering. 30 years ago, followed my father's footsteps, went on to become a lawyer like he was in Tampa, and have spent the last 30 years now advocating for the rights of those that need us.
Why did you focus on personal injury and wrongful death? It
was what my father had focused on as well. I really like helping people in those types of situations. I think there needs to be advocacy to fight insurance companies because they're stacked on their side, and I think injured victims need advocates as well.
Well, we mentioned we're talking about being an Uber driver or an Uber passenger and having something happen. So what are the liabilities here? Do all Uber and Lyft drivers have a lot of coverage for if they get in an accident?
Well, unknown to many people, including Uber and Lyft rideshare drivers, there is a forced-placed insurance policy that benefits Uber drivers, Lyft drivers, other rideshare companies also provide this, as well as the passengers in the vehicle if they're involved in an accident. That insurance also benefits third parties who might be involved in crashes involving Uber or Lyft drivers.
So it's their company has a huge policy that helps cover them. So if I'm in an Uber and we get into an accident, I should be okay.
Well, yes, if you are injured as a result of the operation of that Uber, whether it's the Uber driver's fault or whether it's another person who hits your car, you are covered by, and in this instance in Florida, $1 million policy, both on bodily injury and also in uninsured motorist coverage.
Let's say I'm riding my bike and I get hit by an Uber or a Lyft. What's the situation for me now as the injured party?
Well, as long as the Uber or Lyft driver was engaged in the application.
Now, what does that mean, engaged in the application?
People who drive Ubers and Lyfts have their own personal vehicle for their own use. The coverage only extends to these drivers when they're actually online engaged in the Uber or Lyft application, which means they have to either be online waiting for a request, or once they engage that request, en route to pick up a passenger, or when they're in the process of actually transporting that passenger. That's when the coverage kicks in. If it's not any one of those, then it's going to fall back into their own personal insurance policy.
Okay, so as users of Lyft and Uber, should we feel pretty okay, secure that everything's going to be all right if there is an accident that happens to happen?
Well, yes, I would say so, but there are certain things that passengers and drivers should do, and anytime there's an accident, I always advise call the police. Absolutely call 911 if there's injuries, but call the police and have it investigated because we want to have a record of the actual accident itself. And it's a matter of educating those passengers and drivers that that insurance is out there. Many of them don't even know.
Okay, has there been a case like this before?
Well, there has. I was actually involved in a case involving another lawyer who represented a client, and he did not know that that policy was in place for his client. Okay,
good to know. Well, have you ever been in an accident while in an Uber, Lyft, or other ride-sharing service? We want to hear your story. Email Ralph the Lawyer at ralphthelawyer.com or call 1-800-RALPH-STAT. Ralph Guito, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Daytime will be right back.